Kia ora team, well welcome back to another week of training. If you've been out in the hills, hope you had a good time, good adventure. Bodies may be a little bit sore, so yeah, just see how you go. Join in with us if you can. For those of us that are getting into the mahi now, we need a backpack for this workout, so that's your small backpack. If you're on the starter fitness level, I'd recommend no day pack, so just do this one as your own body weight. If you're doing the intermediate fitness level, I would suggest around about 5 to 7 kilos in your backpack, so you can use water bottles or weights or clothes or whatever you need to do. And then for the advanced level, we'll be aiming for 8 to 10 kilos of weight. So get your backpack ready. For this one here, you can do a real short warm-up, 5 minutes if you want to. Otherwise we just move straight into our work, because our first exercise, we're building up on our inchworms again, so we're progressing those. So it was last week that we actually did the walkout with the push-up and then the squats. So the first exercise this week is the walkout inchworm, but we're going to be doing a plank up down and then back into a squat. So we're progressing how difficult that is from the week before. So we're going to be working through 3 rounds of this particular workout. So we've got our inchworms with the plank up, down and the squat. So we're working from 1 repetition through to 10 again. Second set we're doing reverse lunges. It's going to be with our pack on. So we've got our weighted reverse lunges for 40 reps. Then we move on to our pack get-ups. So once again, using our pack there, that's from our lying position to standing position. We do 10 reps. Then we move into our seated rotations, so that's a core exercise, which involves moving the body from side to side, lower abdominals and the obliques. And then our 5th exercise, we're targeting the lower back and upper back muscles, doing some swimmers. So yeah, we're going to work through our 5 stations. Okay, so 5 stations today, 3 rounds is our target. Okay, so we're going to rip on into it. Once again, we don't need a timer. This is a repetition-based circuit, so the most important thing is that we do the reps properly and in a controlled manner. So rather than trying to just smash them out and get them done, we're trying to take our time, get the technique done properly, and that's the best way for us to work out and avoid our injuries. Okay, so let's get into our first set. So it's our walkout. I'll do these side on so everyone can see. So just join in with me, so standard. We've got our walkout here, and what we go down into is a plank, and then we come up from there. It's 1, walk ourselves back, and we have 1 squat. Now we walk ourselves out, we go down into the plank position, and then we do 1 and 2. Then we walk ourselves back, we've got 2 squats. Okay, so join in with me. Okay, we walk out again, this time into the plank, and we have 3. So we've got 1. Remember to alternate the arms that you're pushing up off. 3. Walk back, we have 3 squats. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now we move into our 4s. So this was one of the exercises that was included in our physical assessment. We were having to do 2 minutes was the target. Okay, it's 4. Push back for 4 squats. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're trying to get as deep as we can in those squats. Okay, we're down for 5 now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Walk back. Okay, for those that are on the starter level, you can do those plank up downs from your knees if you need to. That's 5 squats. Move through for 6s. Do a plank here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Walk back. Now 6 squats. 2, 3, 4, and 6. Nice work with 7s. And remember, we want to try and keep our hips nice and flat if we can. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And walk back for our 7 squats. 3, 7. Cool, move to 8s. Plank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. That's 8. Come back for our 8 squats. 8, 1. 6 and 8. Cool, move on to 9s. Triceps, shoulders, core, hits everything here. 9s, okay, 1. Try and keep your hips down, remember. 6, 7. One more. 9. Walk back. Keep the feet nice and wide. 1, 3, 6, 8, 9. Final set. 10. If you can as well, try and keep your hips nice and stable. Try not to wiggle them side to side like this. Try and keep them nice and square. That's 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9. Remember, if you need to kneel, 10, walk back, 10 squats to finish. If you need to kneel for the up downs, that's fine. 10. Beautiful. Exercise 1 done. Grab your pack. Chuck it on. So starters, you guys can do this one without a weight. Intermediate, let you guys choose your weight, somewhere around 5 kg, 5 to 7, and then advanced, somewhere 8 to 10. Right, locked in. Reverse lunges, guys. Target is 40. I'm going to do alternating reverse lunges. Hey Pepper. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Really try and focus on getting a nice long step out the back. That's half weight, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, good job, keep going, 28, 29, 30, 10 to go. I'll just face towards you guys. 1, 2, try and keep the knees straight if you can. 3, 4, 5, 6, 37, 38, 39, and one more. That's 40. Beautiful. Reverse lunges done. Okay, move on to our get-ups. So backpack weighted get-ups. Those guys that are on the starter level, you can do this without a backpack, but just have your hand up nice and high in the air. So remember, we did this in our assessment at the start. Take one hand, nice and straight, nice and flat from here. Pull one in, move the weight across, keep your eyes up, nice and low, hips under the weight. Push up high, one, back down, reverse order, control the lower, then again, tuck the foot in, roll, hand, hips, push, come back down from there, nice and slow, controlled. We've done two, foot in, roll, elbow, palm, hips, push, drop back down. Nice work. Okay, we've done three. Anything that's moving, Pepper will try and get a hold of. Won't you, Pepper? Pepper's only 9 weeks old, so I'm curious. German short-haired pointer. Nice work. 5 reps. Change hands. Side. Repeat the process. Hand up high. Roll in. Body weight across. Palm. Hip. Push. Return to the bottom. Everything in reverse order. As controlled as we can. So push. Stabilize the hips. 2. Push. Roll. Hand. Hips. 5. 3. 2 to go. Body weight across. Hips weight underneath. Drive up. Drop back down. Keep the control if you can. All over the place. Last one. Stabilize, straight arm. Push. Go. Here. Back to the ground. Roll. Release. Cool, team. Okay, so that was our backpack get up. Going to move on to our rotations now. So feet on the ground. Take our backpack. Going to be leaning back to about 45 degrees. And we're going to be doing some abdominal work. Take the weight in your pack to one side. We want to touch the ground behind the hip, and then to the other side. 4, 5. Target is 50. 12, 13. 20, 22. Make sure you're turning your head as well, so don't just turn your body, because your head and neck are of course connected to the spine. We want everything to turn together. I think that's 36, 38, 40. Make sure you're getting around behind your hip. 44, 46, 48, that's 50. Nice job. Okay, backpack get up's done. Get rid of the bag. Next exercise are our swimmers. So our swimmers on our front, working similar muscle groups to back extensions. Arms straight out the front, feet out the back. What we're doing from here is we're raising opposite arm, opposite leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, it's halfway. It's 40, 10 to go, 10. Nice work, 50 reps. Push back from there, stretch. Child's pose stretch. Into extension. Chest up high. Okay, good news team, that's one round. Now we move back on. 2 more rounds is the target. What's really good about this workout, guys, is that it's very functional. Trains a lot of the movement patterns that we actually do on the hill. So rip into it, 2 rounds to go. Smash it out. If the weight in your pack is not heavy enough, put another water bottle in there, or if it's too heavy, take some weight out. But yeah, challenge yourself, keep going, get stuck in. See you soon. Kia ora team, well, welcome to another Tune Up Tuesday. This session's all about getting a bit of load in the pack and getting up some time on the feet, building time in the boots and conditioning your body for carrying those loads for extended periods of time. If you can, try and include some elevation on those sessions. They are duration based and they do progress in the load. But yeah, if you can find some hills, throw them in, whether they're short or long, doesn't matter, whatever you can find. Another option if you're real desperate is go to a local gym and you could jump on the treadmill, set the incline, set your walking pace and get some altitude gain from there. But yeah, treadmill's not going to be as good because the belt is doing a bit of that work for you when it's spinning around. So best thing is to be out here, fresh air, outdoors, and not relying on equipment. Another key thing when you're doing your hill climbs is to try and lift your knees as much as you can, because the higher your knees are, the higher they have to fall down as well. So if they're high up top, we'll be able to get more momentum and more spring from the hamstrings and the glutes. So yeah, a bit of technique advice there. Lift your knees more or use your arms more. Get them pumping if you need to. If you're on a heavy incline, you'll be surprised if you get your arms moving more, how much more momentum you get. So I know some people that use the walking sticks, the poles, you can really get up some good speed, and those walking trekking poles actually give you a lot more efficiency. So it's another option as well, or a bit of advice for when you are on the hill. If you're on some really long enduring hunting trips, consider using some walking poles. But for the training, I generally just go freestyle. So a couple of ideas there. Got another hill to summit here, so hope you're all doing good. Keep tracking your progress, keep progressing, stay accountable, and yeah, keep the mahi on. we go. Another hill to climb. Check in with you soon. Enjoy your workout. We're going to be focusing predominantly on the core, because I understand that the legs will actually be a little bit sore from that double up yesterday. So the focus is abdominals and lower back and a bit of glutes and the hamstrings as well. So we're going to crack on into our warm-up's going to be 100 star jumps, okay? Then we're going to move into bicycle crunches. So we're going for a repetition based workout today, so you can get rid of the interval timer. So we've got 100 bicycle crunches. Then we're going to move on to 50 squat jumps. So we're just going to throw a little bit of leg work in there, because often when we do hunt, we do have some multi-day hunts there, so we've got to actually just tune up those legs for some back-to-back performance. So there's 50 squat jumps for our second set. Then we're going to move into side-to-side plank. Those are for 50 reps. Then we move into reverse crunches for 25 reps, and then we finish off with a reverse bridge for 25 reps. So there are 5 stations, and the objective is to work through 4 rounds of that. So each round has got 250 reps in it that we accumulate. So if you hit 4 rounds, you're going to hit 1,000 reps all up. So let's crack on into it. Start off with our star jumps. As you can see today, I've got the jandals on, taking it pretty easy, and just getting in a little bit of work along the way for the core, because we do tend to neglect the core if we don't do something intentionally about it. Let's get going. Alright, okay, so if you can't do the star jumps, your option will just be to do some walking, knee raises with a punch. Okay, so if you want to do those instead, you can. For the rest of us, we get on in. Touch the thumbs at the top. Good stuff. Good to get that mobility for the shoulders working. It's 30. Halfway. 1. 60. 70. 80. There's 90. $100. Nice work. Pepper, found the wood. Might do that later. Okay. We'll move on to bicycle crunches. Find a spot. Without the dog in the way. Elbow trying to get it across to the opposite knee. 2, 3. Target's 100. That's 50. 60. 80. 90. 100 reps. With those bicycle crunches, one of the key things to make sure you're doing is getting the elbow across the ground, because if you're just keeping your elbows here, you're not doing the exercise properly, so you've got to go wide on each side with the elbow. Okay, next exercise. Ooh, we've got the legs. If you joined me yesterday on the double up, your legs are going to be a bit sore. It was 2 sessions. Okay, 50 squat jumps is our target. If you're on the starter level, you can just do normal squats. That's halfway. Two, 40, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4. Nice job. That'll take care of the legs for a while. Move on to side planks now, or side to side plank. So we're in a front plank position. We'll do it from the side here. Hey Pepper. Okay, so what we're going to do, touch one side, cross, cross, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. Going for 50, 20, 21, 22. 28, 29, 30. I'll just show you from front on. Keep going. 2, 3. That's 40, 41, 42, 43, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Nice job. Tough little exercise, but yeah, really good one for obliques, frontal core, shoulders. Okay, move on to reverse crunch now. Beaming sun. Okay, hands on the ground, feet are up nice and high. From there, lower the legs, raise the legs. 2, 3, 4, 5. Have to spin around. Going well up the hill there. That's better. Into the sun as well. Target's 25. Keep your legs straight if you can. Mine tend to bend a lot. So I'm going to work on flexibility through the hamstrings.
think I've got 5 to go. Lost count. Nice. Deep burn, lower abs, middle abs. If you can't do them repetitively, you can always stop your feet and then start them again. So you can do this. So the starter guys, it's a good option, or you can just pull into here and release back. So it's a slightly easier option if you need that. Okay, exercise to move on to. Reverse plank, target is 25. Okay, so into our bridge position. From here, hips are high. For the starters, you guys are going to be hips down and hips up. Intermediate and advanced, we're going to try and do alternating raises. 25 reps is our target. Keep the hips up as high as you can, both when you're dropping the leg and when you're raising the leg. There's 10. Keep going. 11, 12. 17, 18, 19, 5 to go. Have a break if you need to. Quite a hard exercise, especially to keep those hips engaged the whole time. Last one, hips down. Cool team, so that's one round. We've hit 250 reps already. Objective is to go 3 more. So you leave your star jumps out, and we just move straight into the bicycle crunch, then work our way down through there. So 4 rounds will give you 1,000 reps. Awesome to hit the core. All of us need to do more core, so that's why it's in here. Enjoy.
Hey team, well welcome to our mobility and recovery session for Sunday. This week's been a pretty good week in terms of ramping up some intensities. So we had a really effective core training session on the Thursday, and then of course on Wednesday we had our double header. So that was 2 pack training sessions in the one day, and then the day before that of course is our heavier pack training session. So the body's feeling some good amount of hurt at the moment, so it's a really opportune time to get some work done on the shanks. And today's, way of doing our mobility work is that we're going to stretch a muscle group, and then we're going to foam roll that muscle group, and then we're going to work our way through a number of different muscle groups. The focus will be on the legs and the hips today. So yeah, grab your foam roller. We're going to start off with the highest priority, and there's going to be our calves, then we'll move into our quads, hips, glutes, and then a bit of the lower back, and then we might get into those lats as well. So yep, we'll get underway. I'm not using a timer today, I'm just going to roll with it, and we're just going to hold our stretches for as long as we sort of feel we need to. Of course you can use the wall. I'm just using a chair here for the first one. So we're going to stretch the calves, long calf stretch, hips are square, heel is down on the ground, and we're going to have a nice straight leg. So that back leg is the one that we're stretching here, and we've got a locked knee. Okay, so everything is straight. If you want to, before these types of sessions, you can do a little bit of activity in terms of going for a short walk or something like that, but it's not a case of doing anything that is going to really jack the heart rate right up. It's about just winding down. This session today is just about your mobility and flexibility work, so there shouldn't be any focus on trying to set any personal bests or anything like that in regards to your fitness or your strength work. It can be more effective if you are stretching when the body is a little bit warm. So that's the suggestion, is you could do a short walk if you wanted to. Another idea is stretching in the evenings is really effective, and that's particularly the case if you have a nice warm shower or a bath or something like that. The muscle temperature is a little bit higher, so you do get some slightly better results when the muscle temperature is higher rather than a cold start. Okay, so stretch both of those calves. What we're going to do now is grab a foam roller down onto the floor, chuck the foam roller under the leg there. Now once again, depending on how intense you want this, you can do one leg or you can do two legs. Okay, I'm going to do one leg at a time, so that means I'm going to stack one leg on top of that foam roller like that. Okay, so we'll start down the bottom near the heel, and we'll slowly work our way up and down. That's it, so just take your time. If you want a bit less pressure rather than stacking the feet, you can have one leg here, and that can be your supporting leg to keep those hips higher up off the ground. Now what you'll be able to see is that when I'm doing my rolling, I'm also rotating the foot, so I can roll inwards or I can roll outwards, and you'll quite often find that there will be a tender spot somewhere about 2/3 of the way down the calf, and that will particularly be the case if we are doing a lot of pack training, especially if you are doing it on hills. We do tend to use the short calf a lot when we are doing hill training or doing inclines. Okay, so I'm just going to change across to the other leg now. You can see I'm focusing predominantly on the lower calf rather than coming right up to the knee. If you are a bit more sore at the top of the calf, then you just need to move yourself a bit further closer to that foam roller. Okay, so once again, I'm not using a timer. I'm just going for as long as I need to, or as long as I feel the need there. And slow down on spots that are more tender. Take your time. Go for a few more there. Nice one. Cool. We'll just finish off with a little double. So 2 on at the same time, which reduces the intensity, but we're getting both done at the same time there. Nice. Okay, and we can come off there. Cool. So how to go on the calves. Move on to the quads. These guys. So if you can, try and get that leg, tuck it in, and we want to try and, as much as you can, keep your chest up and your hips forward, and try and keep that heel squeezed into your butt. If you can get it there, it's the goal. Chest up high, hips forward. Gets us a good stretch into our hip flexors as well. Often when you see people stretching their quads, they're sort of standing there like this and bending forward. The issue with that is that it actually starts to negate the stretch. So you've actually got to be focused on pushing the hip flexors forward and then keeping the chest up. Okay, so we'll change there. You need something to hold on to. Hold on to the wall or a chair. Chest is up high. So these stretches that we're doing today are called static. Static stretches, they're not involving any movement, so we're just holding that stretch in one place. We're not bouncing it or increasing the range of motion as we go. We'll go for another 10 seconds here. That's it. Okay, and we release from there. Move on to our foam rolling now. So we'll start in the order that we've done them. So I stretch my right leg first. So I'll put my right leg on top of there. I'm going to start just above the knee. We'll get into our sort of plank position from there. Take one leg out to the side, and then we're just going to move that body weight down the roll, and then bring our body weight back up the roll. Down and up. So we're trying to keep the hips facing towards the floor, keeping them as square as possible and keeping our breathing going. Go for some nice long strokes there. And we're just doing one leg at a time here, focusing on doing it nice and controlled. Sort of finding a bit of a tight spot just here. So I'm just slowly focusing on doing a little bit of work there. Right, I'm going to crawl up a little bit further so I can now get into a little bit of the lower part of the quads. Once again, you can manipulate the angle, so I'm just turning inwards slightly, because we actually do have one of our quadricep muscles, or one of the 4 muscles that make up that quadricep group is on the medial part. So it's in here, this muscle group here, that's called the vastus medialis. So it is actually good to stretch that as well. So you'll see I'm on a slight angle there now, and that roller is just above the knee, but on the medial part of my thigh. Okay, I'll roll back to the middle, and we'll focus a little bit more on the front. Okay, cool. I'm going to change sides. I'll go on to the left. I'll just flip this across so you guys can see what I'm up to. It's there, one leg to the side. Start down the bottom, we're in a plank position here. Okay. Nice and square to start with the hips. Nice and square. Take your time. It's not as nice as getting a massage, but yeah, it's what we can do with what we've got. So if you do have the the resources or the time to get a sports massage, those can be really helpful as well, of course. But in terms of the frequency of getting some mobility work done, it's really good using the foam roller. You can have some time out, whatever, you can listen to a podcast or something if you want to, or listen to some nice relaxing music. It's up to you. It's an opportunity just to wind the mind down and yeah, just take your time. Bit of time to disconnect. Okay, I'm going to just rotate a little bit internally now. So I'm going to be rolling that vastus medialis, and it is actually quite tender, to be fair. Very tender. Wow. Okay, back to the front. A couple of longer strokes there. Nice one. Okay, come up from there and sit down onto your heels. That's a good sign. Okay, we're going to move on to the glutes now. So, one of my favourite glute stretches is one that we've already been through. So it's put the foot up on the opposite leg there, and then what we can do from there. So we're just pulling towards the body. I've got one foot on the opposite leg there. And we'll hold here. The glutes take a lot of loading. So we do need to look after them, we do need to stretch them quite often, because they do often get neglected if we don't intentionally do this stretching work. Sometimes you'll find that one side is also more flexible or more supple than another side, or you'll find that one side is stronger than the other side, and it's actually a good opportunity when you're doing your flexibility work, when you're doing one side at a time, to actually identify which side is tighter or which side is more mobile, and you can be aware of that, especially when you're doing the training sessions as well. Nice. We're going to do our stretch that goes across the top as well, which is into the lower back. It's our lower back working. Stay with us on the stretch. Side. Nice. Okay, we'll come up from there, grab our roller into the glutes, top here, so on the angle, sort of a little bit sideways, not quite square there, so I'm just moving through a slightly different range of motion as I roll. Find a slightly tender spot here, particularly on the outside and the top where the waist or the belt of your pack goes around. That's an area that does take a lot of weight, and if you haven't done a lot of pack training for a while, you will feel that those are quite sore. So on both sides of the hips there can be really tender. Okay, I'll swing it across to the other side. It's a different angle for you guys there. Okay, slightly sideways. Just using that body weight. It's our resistance point. Sometimes you'll find that there's quite a bit of tenderness almost where the muscle inserts into the bone, so quite close to the end of that muscle belly, just before it meets the tendon. That can be where those tight spots are, so we can just focus on them if we need to. But yeah, this one here is sort of trying to alter the angles so we're straight, we're slightly off center, we're getting a little bit of the lateral glute involved in there as well. That's the story. Okay, that'll do on the glutes, and then we'll just go into the lower back. The lower back stretch, go through the child's pose exercise. So arms are nice and straight. Stretching your lats as well. So this stretches through the lats here, but then also through the lower back. Nice straight arms. Push your body weight down into the heels of the feet. Try and drop your chest. Hips down, chest down. And really elongate yourself. Arms as long as you can. Push that body weight down onto the floor. Take your feet a little bit wider if you need to. Okay, we'll come up from there and we'll just go into an extension, back extension. You'll find as you do a few of these, you do get better at them throughout the session. So if we were to do 5 or 6 of these child's pose into extension, you'll find that your hips will actually get further closer and closer to the ground as we go. So if you're wanting to spend a bit more time doing your lower back and opening up down the bottom of those abdominals, hip flexors, you can spend more time doing that. So I'm just doing some rotations now because I like to do rotations at the bottom end of this particular stretch. That just helps me to get into my obliques a little bit more, and it also allows me to stretch those lower back muscles individually. So I just rotate around, the hips move across and the head turns. So now I'm actually looking now at my heel. So I can see the opposite heel and I can see over my shoulder there. Over full rotation I go as far as I can. That's the story. Now I'll finish off with the child's pose back to here. Stretch 20 to 30 seconds here. Okay, grab our roller. We're going to go into the lower back roll. See us there. Well, just start off nice and slowly. Hit the middle back and the upper back first. what you're doing here is obviously using your body weight, using your hamstrings and your glutes just to keep your weight up off the ground, and then we'll just slowly work our way down to the lower back. So you are using your core muscles here to actually hold yourself up a little bit, because we're not flopping straight over the foam roller at the moment. Okay, now we're going to start moving so we can actually get down to that lower back. Okay, so I'm just going to roll through and then lie on the floor. Lie on the floor here. So my lower back is supported there with the weight. Okay, and I'm just going to lie here for 10 to 15 seconds, and I'm going to start to move the knees side to side slowly. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the body weight and the movement of those legs to start increasing some of that load onto those lower back muscles. And I'm just doing it very slowly. It's not too dynamic. But I can really feel that from doing that movement, I'm starting to get a lot more pressure into those lower back muscles. That's really good. Okay, I'll go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Okay, pull the hips up from there, and we can roll that foam roller back out. Nice one. So the other option as well, and we did this the previous week, was to get into those lats, and that was just put the foam roller right on the edge there. We were side on. We're trying to find that spot there, which is generally quite tender. Now we'll just go for 15 to 20 rolls on that tender spot. You'll find it, you should find it. Okay, I've definitely found it because it's definitely very sore. Yeah. Okay, go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Do the other side. Okay, so once again, you don't need to have the 90 centimetre roller. That's just what I've got here, so that's what I use. So side on, find that tight area, go 15 to 20 rolls on there. My one is very tight today. It's sort of a muscle group that you don't really sort of stretch or foam roller if you don't think about it. So that's why I'm just including that in here, so that there is a bit of awareness that, yep, those latissimus dorsi, that muscle on the side there, those pulling muscles, they do get quite tight. And when the lats get really tight, and I said this in the previous foam roller message, was that the lats are actually responsible for poor shoulder health, in terms of if we're not getting good mobility through the lats, and we're not doing enough scapular based or rotational based exercises, if those lats are really, really dominant, they can start to rotate those limbs inwards, and when that starts to happen is when we can start to have shoulder injuries. So that's something to keep in mind. Stretch the lats. So that's one round of our stretching today. That's all I'm going to do on the body. And I'm going to shoot inside now and grab a cup of coffee and yeah, have a bit of a feed with the whānau. So hopefully that helped you. So it was stretching, foam rolling, combine them together, great success.